welcome to the Athletics Fantasy Cheat Sheet presented by Jock Market. With me as always, Jake Seeley. And from the New York Post, Samantha Praviti. What's up?
Hi.
Samantha, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Praviti,
like graffiti.
Yeah, I invented that saying and I already messed it up. Samantha Praviti. So Samantha, Jake, Samantha. Everybody, both of them.
Look at you with a mic stand and a camera.
I know. I invested. Thank you. Shout out to Papa Doc. Papa Luke. I don't know. I can't even read it from here. It's dark. So, special guest Samantha, who's at Samantha NFL. She's from the New York Post. Friends with Drew Loftus, who's one of our old friends, Jakey.
Oh, yeah. You can go back with Drew.
Right? Yeah, right. Yeah. Drew's the guy, the fantasy madman.
Drew's an awesome guy. He, apparently has like 400 fantasy teams. So
that might be undercounting it. So we're here to answer all your questions. Fire them away in YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, whichever your social media of choice is. Make sure you give Samantha a follow, Samantha NFL. Let's get into it. Waiver wire. Samantha, let me start with you, our very special guest, DErnest Johnson. I get the feeling reading your waiver wire column and Jake's waiver wire column that neither of you are in on DErnest Johnson. And I'm not even sure if that's how we pronounce. I think, is it DErnest or DErnest?
DErnest.
All right, thank you, Jake. Samantha, he was a few down in your column. Feel free to call me crazy, but I feel like he could he be someone's number one?
He could definitely be someone's number one. And just for my column, he is lower because I have it ranked by rostership percentages.
Fair.
So it isn't necessarily that, but I do agree. I think that maybe I'm a little lower on him than I think some other people are, just because, maybe the pedigree isn't necessarily there. He was an undrafted free agent, spent some time mahi fishing, and
it's
all
a great
of his
story. It's a great story.
It is a great story. It is a great story. We've seen a lot of kind of random guys like James Robinson and stuff come out of nowhere and be great. But the only thing that I kind of had an issue with was the number of touches that he got that were kind of game script dependent. 10 of 13 came when they were up, when the Browns are up by at least 2 scores, and then 13 of 13 came when they were up by 11. So it kind of I don't want to use that necessarily against him because it's not his fault that it was a blowout win. But it remains to be seen if I think that he's going to slot in for Nick Chubb. But for instance, in PPR, I would probably prefer to have Justin Jackson if I had a high waiver claim.
Fair enough. Jake, you barely had a sentence on him in your waiver wire column. What's up?
Oh, what's up is what do you want to create one of your narratives for him or something like that?
Well, no, I'm asking because you know what? I really woke up today. I'm like, DErnest Johnson's going to be number one. I got to talk to my partners. We got to go 40%, 50%. And then I start reading everybody's stuff and I'm like, oh, maybe not. Maybe I can get away with less.
And maybe you don't even need to waste your time, depending on the league that you're in. He's not going to get touches unless they're up by a ton. It's Kareem Hunt. He's not backing up to bring up Justin Jackson's name. It's not like it's Justin Jackson and Johnson splitting this backfield. It's Kareem Hunt's going to get 80%, 90% of these touches. And unless they have a lead, and let's talk about the Browns, how many games do we really expect them to be trying to hold a double-digit score? Johnson is a must-own for the fact that he's the next guy up if something were to happen to Kareem Hunt. But he's not worth going 40%. He's not worth your time as somebody's going to be startable unless Kareem Hunt got hurt as well.
Jake's a dream crusher here, Samantha.
Yeah, I could definitely see in a lot of people's leagues where he's going to go for 40% though. I mentioned before that there were in one of my leagues, someone spent 81% of our fab on Wayne Gallman. So that's how bad I think the market is right now. I think that was an overzealous bid, but
It's fair if you really liked Wayne Gallman, and I guess if you put that bid in before Devontae Freeman.
Sure, yeah.
Jake, the flip side of all these ads, the drops, is AJ Green a must drop for you right now?
Not a must drop, but he's in the Dumpsville of the article. If you read the article and you went all the way down.
Well, I did, Jake, but a lot of people haven't, and maybe this is called a teaser.
This is what a teaser. AJ Green, Dumpsville, Anthony Miller, Preston Williams, Brandon Cooks, all these guys are there. They're not must, though. You said must. And there's a couple things here. We're starting the buys. We just saw what happened last week with COVID. You could be getting thin very fast. People are asking, should I make this trade? I have a lot of depth. I'm not willing to trade depth this year, like in years past, where people are talking about James Robinson starts for me sometimes. Well, James Robinson's something that a lot of people can't afford to even give up in leagues because you're not getting the return back. So I would say if you don't just drop him for the hell of it because you're mad, but AJ Green is certainly not a must. He's been passed by T. Higgins. He has, I tweeted this out this morning, he has the most yards of his percentage of air yards left on the field. He has basically gotten nothing connection-wise with Joe Burrow. He's droppable, as well as those other names.
Shout out to FF Grinder. We got a quick question. Samantha, I'm going to go to you with this one. Phil George Mike wants to know Bridgewater or Bobby Herbert at NOLA?
I think Teddy Bridgewater because I like the matchup slightly better. Falcons defense is kind of trash, and I think we make fun of we make fun of Bridgewater for kind of being a dump off guy, but he's actually looked pretty decent with Robbie Anderson. R.I.P. DJ Moore though.
DJ Moore. Wait, you were saying this morning you have DJ Moore, AJ Brown, and
DJ Chark.
Yeah, DJ Chark.
A lot of like initials. Yeah. It's like all one team of underperformers. It's kind of, I guess it's good like to have all your bad guys on one team. But
go trade for T.Y. Hilton.
There you go, perfect. And AJ McCarron, why not?
Jake, I don't even
this
think
one's
he's
for
backing
you.
anybody up anymore.
Well, he's somewhere, isn't he?
I don't think he is.
I just read his name somewhere. Anyway, whatever. Unless you want, I'll go look
XFL?
Right now. Yeah. Jakey.
Oh, he's behind Deshaun Watson.
There you go. That's where I read it.
Who cares?
Who's the top ad, Jake? Jake, get back on track, man.
Between these two?
Yeah. Unless you can come up with a tight end. TJ Hawkinson.
Well, TJ Hawkinson, it's surprising a lot of people want to drop TJ Hawkinson for Tanyan. And I don't understand. Like, I guess it was one giant game, but let's chill out. TJ Hawkinson's been out there a lot. I understand. Here's Jake, one thing, though.
I was making a joke about initials. I don't know what you think we're talking about here, man.
Oh, you said, did it not sound like he was asking if he was a must add?
Oh, yeah. No,
See?
I kind of got confused there, too.
Don't take sides.
Okay, so between Jackson and Johnson, it's Jackson by a mile. Like, the thing is, we all assume Kelly, but one of the things, the reason I was off Jackson this year is because Jackson replicates Eckler. If they're going to keep the offense the same, there's a non-zero chance that they put Jackson as the 60% and Kelly as the 40% if they don't want to change the offense. So I am on Kelly, but it wouldn't shock me if Jackson's the more valuable option.
What Oak City Austin's asking here. Samantha, what do you think about this? We concerned about Joshua Kelly's fumbling issues?
I don't know if I'm necessarily concerned yet, but I am concerned in terms of like the way that the game script is going, because like if we think that they're going to be trailing a lot, I do feel like they're going to end up leaning on Jackson a little bit more just because he's a little bit more involved in the passing game. And Joshua Kelly just doesn't seem like they're going to use him that way. By
the way, Samantha, I don't have TikTok, but I noticed in your Twitter stream, you're throwing your TikToks in there once in a while. I think they're pretty cool. Like, you're the only fantasy person I know who's TikToking right now.
Yes, it's a very, very small market, and I don't even know if anyone gets it. Like, it's just replicating memes and like trying to make them into fantasy football things. I don't know if anyone enjoys them yet, but
I think they're very cool. So
I think you guys have to pivot to TikTok next, both of you.
I don't know, Jake. You ready for that? Jake, TikTok.
Never.
Samantha, if there are TikTokers out there, we're not going live obviously on TikTok, but where can they find you? Same kind of combination of Samantha NFL, or?
It's actually Sprevite, Sprevite. That's what I am on pretty much every other platform. That handle was taken on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
All right, good for Sean Previti. Congratulations. I want to bring up Tim Patrick, and I want to bring him in the context of Laviska Shenault. Those two kind of popped up in both your waiver wire columns this week. Jake, let me go to you first. Rank them quickly. I mean, if you're not going after these top guys, where are you putting Tim Patrick and Laviska Shenault in terms of your queue?
Patrick, if you need somebody through the buys and somebody right now, Shenault, if you're playing the long game, I do think Shenault is going to overtake Keelan Cole, but the problem is he hasn't yet. They're finding ways to get him involved, but he's a rookie, and it might take a few more weeks. By 8-9 into the season, he might be the number 2, but right now he's still the number 3. He's actually right around the same usage as Chris Conley. It's just the fact that he's better, and he's better than Keelan Cole. Tim Patrick, as I mentioned in last week's column, is that even without the KJ Hamler injury, he's running as the number 2. Like, Hamler needs to get similar to Shenault. He needs to get past Tim Patrick before he's the thing. And KJ Hamler, given his size, needs to be used out of the slot. Tim Patrick can play outside. So Tim Patrick, right now, the higher ceiling is with Shenault.
All right. And Samantha, I know like the theme is Laviska Shenault, and we hit on it earlier today, but do you want to just jump in here real quick with your thoughts? And I assume that how much you like him, you would put him ahead of Tim Patrick?
I would probably put him ahead of Tim Patrick as well. I mean, It's also the Jets, like what we saw last week. It's kind of hard to look at that in an objective lens, but I do feel like Chenault is like the better longer term ad. I truly believe that he is better than Keelan Cole and Chris Conley. So it's kind of just a matter of time. Like you said, it's a rookie thing. He'll get into it, but he probably would have been like a first rounder, I think, in another draft. And he has that first round talent, I think.
What about toward D.D. Westbrook, man? Huh?
Totally disappeared off like the face of the earth.
That's he's asking because that's one of Nando's guys.
He is, but I mean, he had 100. My bad. A guy who had 100 targets 2 years in a row was one of my guys, Jake, who has been inactive 4 weeks in a row now. Here's one from Tyler Berry. This is a good one. Samantha, take it. Anyone in the Rams backfield worth starting?
It doesn't feel good. Like they're both both as in Malcolm Brown and Darrell Henderson, both kind of like flex options. But it's one of those things that I just feel like you're going to guess on which one is going to end up being utilized, and you're going to guess wrong. Like I don't want to liken it to the Pats backfield situations in years past, but it kind of reminds me of that they like Sean McVay just wants to like hedge whenever you kind of decide that it's going to be Malcolm Brown, it's going to be the other guy.
I wish he knew.
And especially with Cam Akers coming back.
It's a mess. Jake, if someone angrily dropped Darrell Henderson and they also angrily dropped, say, AJ Green, which one are you jumping on?
Henderson. Only because running backs are harder to find, although I don't trust that McVay is not going to make this Akers when he gets the chance.
We got a trade question from Life Interest. Should I trade Chris Godwin for Joe Mixon or James Conner? Jakey, what do you think?
I hate these questions. Is that why you went to me?
Questions, but
because there's no context here. I don't know how deep he is at wide receiver. I don't know how much he's... No. It doesn't matter what the scoring format is. It matters what the rosters are. Between the two, I'll go with Conner because Conner is top 10 as long as he's healthy. The only thing that ever scares people about Conner is if he gets hurt. Joe Mixon's uses might not stay the same. I would love if it did, but is he going to not go right back to the Giovanni Bernard use that we just saw before this week? So I'll go with Conner. But again, this is, if you need a running back and if you have the wide receiver depth to spare, it's relative.
Is there something to be said like we're playing afraid here? And I mean, like as a whole, not just the three of us. It's like every backfield situation, like, I could, but what if they do this? Like
You're talking about James Conner being hurt?
No, I'm talking about are they going to go back to Giovanni Bernard? I'm talking about are the Rams going to go to a three-man backfield? They're not going to let Darrell Henderson, break. I mean, Darrell Henderson can break free for a 55-yard run at any given moment. So there's
but you can't project. That's the same as trying to play Mecole Hardman every single week. You're just hoping they break up a 40-yard. There you go. Okay, so there you go. He's got Woods, Boyd, Landry, I was going to say Landry doesn't matter. Robinson. Yeah, he's got the depth. Then I would make that trade for Conner.
Okay. Samantha, what are your leagues doing with the COVID stuff? We talked about this a little bit last week, but I'd like to get everybody's opinion on this. I find it very interesting. Did you add an extra waiver wire period? Did you have someone add an IR spot? Were they already taken care of? How did you kind of pivot with the mess of last week? Samantha, you still there? Oh, I think we lost her, Jake. Well, in the meantime, Jakey, let's ask about Damien Harris. Is he worth an ad or just avoid the Pats backfield?
Hey, I put him in there as right alongside Justin Jackson. If you want to go at him, that's certainly fine. But to pretend that we're going to see anything different than a frustrating Patriots backfield, James White was still on the field a lot late because they were down. James White's going to be the passing game's option. James White will be on the field when they're down late, including runs, as you saw, because they want to disguise it. He got a rush. He actually got 2 rushes late. So, yeah, you go after Harris, but can Harris be a top 20 running back? Possibly, but how many times do you want to deal with this Patriots backfield? I would still add Jackson before Harris, but if you want Harris, I'm not going to say you're crazy to go after him.
Is this one of those weeks where you sit everything out if you don't need anything? Like, I don't need Ernest. Okay.
No. Look, I've already answered this question like 17 times in the waiver article. Don't ever thumb your nose up at a running back. Like, how many teams are out there dealing right now with, oh my God, I lost Eckler and Barkley and this person, and now I'm going on a bye. Don't ever you're never too good for another running back.
Okay. Samantha, I don't know if you heard before we kind of half lost you. We were talking about the COVID. Well, I was talking about it, the COVID situation from last week. And, a lot of the stuff happened right before waiver wire. We weren't sure what was going to play out. Did you do anything in your leagues? We're just basically polling. Did you do anything in your leagues, adding an extra spot or an extra waiver period, anything like that?
No one actually did that for me. None of the commissioners, and a lot of them pulled the whole like, oh, it's just like a bye week, which I was kind of a little bit annoyed about.
Which it was, right, Jake?
I mean, it is their bye week, but it doesn't. It's not the same. It wasn't in the middle of the week bye week. It was a bye week we couldn't plan for. We had to upgrade her internet.
Oh, she just moved, so give her a break, Jake. You've moved before. She's back. She's moving. There we go. You're back. Welcome back, Samantha.
Sorry, things have been really crazy. I'm in an empty apartment, so thanks for bearing with me.
We've been there. That behind Jake's in an empty apartment. That's just a pull down photo behind him. So.
Yeah,
that's actually a green screen. Like totally just.
Yeah.
Who moves during a pandemic in this business? I'm just kidding.
Someone that doesn't want to be stuck in Manhattan for any more than the last 7 months.
That's Can't blame that.
Where are you from originally? Because I noticed on you, and I'm not giving anything creepy away, on your Twitter bio, you went to McGill up in Canada.
Yeah, I was born in China.
I almost went to McGill.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was born in China, grew up in Rhode Island, and went to school in McGill, worked in politics on the Hill in DC for a little bit, and then lived in Charleston and then New York. And now I'm in Denver.
What an exciting bounce around you've had.
A lot of different regions. So I think that's why I have almost no accent, I think, at least.
I was, yeah.
How'd you go from New York to Denver? That's a hell of a difference there.
The fresh air, Jake.
And then she froze up again. That wonderful Denver internet. It doesn't work. Doesn't work with the high altitude.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
You're back. Don't worry about it. This is loose. It's YouTube, and Twitter, and Facebook. I'll tell you what then. As a thank you to the people who are watching you freeze, let's answer another question. There's a deep one here that I just lost because we had a bunch come in. Here we go from Third Eye Guy. Thoughts on adding Chase Claypool? He has Deontay Johnson or Zach Pascal. Need some wide receiver depth. What do you think, Samantha?
I guess Claypool would be the one that I would add. I'm not really sold on Zach Pascal in the past, and I think that Claypool probably has a little bit more talent, and the offense wants to throw more, I think. And
you lost her again.
Well, she'll come back, Jake. You like Zach Pascal?
Yeah, disrespecting ODU over here. So the only reason I like Zach Pascal is because he's the number one for the Colts now. It's not T.Y. Hilton.
Oh, Samantha, you going to take that? I guess
she has to take it.
Okay. Yeah, but is this a Phillip Rivers thing, Jake? Or is this kind of like T.Y. Hilton has hit like an age where he's just going to start going downhill?
Both.
All right, here's one from G-Men J. Is Golden Tate a flex option this week versus the Cowboys?
I mean, it depends. My rankings will be out midnight. I mean, it depends on what else is out there.
All right, we'll wait and see.
No. But there could be 40 other people that are on the waivers. I don't know the option.
Well, I don't know. I don't think he means off the waivers. I think, he's available on the wire. Golden Tate, you run and grab him, right?
Yes, see. I can read.
All right, fine. Samantha from the New York Post, very close to the Golden Tate situation. I think it's kind of insane, the post-game fights with Golden Tate that are going on right now, but or the fight. But I expected a lot more. Is something wrong with Golden Tate, or is it wrong with Daniel Jones in this whole offense?
I think it's Daniel Jones in this offense, and Daniel Jones in this offense and this offensive line, and I don't know. So I think of the four really good offensive linemen that came out of the early part of the draft, like Andrew Thomas has kind of been the only one that's been kind of meh. Like the other three have been really, really great. Dave Gettleman and his hog mollies. And that offensive line still looks pretty bad. So, Daniel Jones is a guy that I thought would take a step forward this year, and it's been not as good as I thought.
If he was on the Bills, would we be seeing a different Daniel Jones this year, or is Daniel Jones maybe just not great?
And you still need to build an offense around what Daniel Jones is. And Daniel Jones is not a very good. You need to basically the Josh Allen offense would probably help him because you need to keep him in that 10 to 15 yard range. The problem is you're sending Darius Slayton downfield, and Darius Slayton, as much as I like him, isn't a number one for NFL purposes. Tate couldn't really separate last week, and he might just be at the point in the career where he's losing part of that. Evan Ingram is getting no separation despite he doesn't even rank inside the top 20 for tight ends in separation, despite how athletic he is. And Daniel Jones is doing no favors. He's throwing these guys into coverage. It's throwing into coverage himself. It's Daniel Jones is a big part of it.
I can't tell if Samantha's just sitting very still or if she's frozen again. But
She's frozen
I'm
again.
going to throw another question.
Now she's back now.
anyway.
Now she's moving.
All right, Kevin's got Darnold probably out. Bell's probably back. RB2 or flex at best with Flacco starting in a PPR league. Samantha, what do you think? Le'Veon Bell just thrown right back in the mix?
Flex, yeah, I could see it. It's definitely in PPR. I think because he's really the only one in that backfield. Like, he'll get volume, and he's always.
And Flacco throws to the running back.
And Flacco does throw to the running back. And I think Joe Flacco, you just got to, I don't know. Do you have to respect him more than Sam Darnold because he's done it before? Or are they basically.
What has he done before? Went on one playoff run that won a Super Bowl. Outside of that, his career isn't too dissimilar from Sam Darnold.
Yes.
All of Ravens' Twitter is about to come for you right now.
Okay, let's get one more in here. As a Hunt owner, do I even bother picking up Johnson, or is it backfield redundancy? Is that not a good thing? Samantha, what do you think? Can you own both at the same time?
I think you can. There are a number of backfields that I think are kind of like I would be comfortable owning both or having both rather. Like if you had Chubb and Hunt, like you were great. You maybe felt a little bit cheated because Hunt was eating into touches, but you could have started both feasibly in a number of weeks.
You don't even need to start both. If you have Cook, do you not want Madison? If you have Zeke, do you not want Pollard? I mean, it's the next man up.
But isn't the ceiling for Johnson pretty high? I mean, DeErnest Johnson, 13 for 95. Again, a blowout. And again, like Samantha said, in these situations where, he could show off pretty well against a bad defense. But that offense was doing better than any other offense in the NFL in rushing. He's not Nick Chubb, but can't just put him there?
DeErnest Johnson is not startable.
This hurts, Jake. Personally. Okay, one more, and then we'll go, and we'll let Samantha not freeze.
Upgrade her internet.
And really, no, come on, Jake. People move, man. You just moved a couple years ago.
Couple years ago, 2015.
Whatever. Here we go. Was Mike Davis a good temporary trade for Nick Chubb? I assume that Talak's asking if Mike Davis goes out to get you Nick Chubb back. What do you think?
This is also running back depth. Look, the clock is ticking on Mike Davis. The problem is Nick Chubb might not come back till week 12, might not even be relevant when he comes back. I'd try to do a little bit better than Mike Davis, but the problem is the longer you wait, the closer Christian McCaffrey gets.
G-Man J knows what time it is. Angry Jake is the best Jake. Okay, so
it's the beast.
I lied. I did. So I put Alshon Jeffery, I think, in the title when I typed this up. Just totally forgot and skipped over him. He's coming back.
We do this every week, by the way. One more question. One more question.
Right,
one more question.
This one's for me. It's not from people out there, Jake. It's for me. Yeah, because Andrew Lee wants to know, Alshon Jeffery hasn't played a snap this year. We're referring to Nelson Aguilar. No, because Alshon Jeffery is out there in a lot of leagues, and he's on his way back, and the Philadelphia receiving core is totally decimated.
No.
And I mean, say what you don't think so? It is.
Is he better than Greg Ward at this point in his career?
Is he second best to Greg Ward?
Travis Fulgham just showed up. Oh, to you. Look, the question with Alshon Jeffery is he just was about to come back and then mysteriously doesn't even practice and gets thrown back out, and nobody knows what's going on.
Sure.
That Jeffery might not come back. Jeffery might not come back, period. And even if he does, what is his body like at this point? We're seeing AJ Green. What do you expect from Alshon Jeffery?
I have no. That's why I'm asking the question. Samantha, what do you think?
Yeah, I would.
Nope.
Well, I guess we can just imagine that she's on my side of this one, Jake, and she's really into Alshon. Look, it's not. I'm not bringing him up because I think Alshon Jeffery's going to be awesome. Samantha, welcome back.
Sorry. Yeah, I actually thought of.
Oh, so close.
You need to hotspot her phone.
Yeah, these are probably these brilliant Alshon Jeffery answers, and I blame. I don't even know who's out west. Not Verizon.
It's Xfinity, so you can blame them.
Xfinity.
Well, now we know who's not sponsoring the show.
Oh, well, we already have Deer Park, and it looks like we got San Pellegrino, too, sponsoring the show today, so we're good. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. If you really want to know about Alshon Jeffery, hit up Samantha at Samantha NFL on Twitter. As many Alshon Jeffery questions as you want will be answered.
If you want to go buy some DeErnest Johnson cards, talk to Nando.
I already looked, Jake. Samantha, you into cards at all?
No.
Like trading cards?
Yeah. I've jumped back in recently during this pandemic, like everybody else.
How many times are you going to keep trying to go to this internet?
Well, I don't know. Why not, Jake? Anyway, all right. Okay, we'll just say that she's the biggest trading card collector in the world, and she's also bought a bunch of Darrell Hendersons, and now they're almost worthless. That's Samantha. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry you kept cutting out.
Sorry.
Listen, when the internet starts working, we'll just have her back because I feel like this was fun. And it's always good to have two people making fun of Jake as well as all the commenters instead of just me. So there. Jake, we'll see you soon.
No.
We'll see you Thursday.
Not if I can help it.
Samantha, before you cut out, want to say goodbye to everybody?
Bye, guys. Sorry, everyone.
No, don't worry about it. This is fun. Thank you for joining us. Follow her, Samantha NFL. Follow Jake at AllInKid. TheAthletic.com/cheat sheet gets you The Athletic for $1 a month. Shout out to Jock Market for making this possible. And we'll see you later. I gotta stall until I can figure out where to pull up this thing here that plays the music. Found it. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.